Gunf- Gunfire in America. Is it time for you to arm yourself? This is Charlie Crimebuster, and we're going to talk about that on today's Charlie Show. Well, hello, and welcome to another Charlie Crimebuster Crime Talk. This is Charlie Crimebuster, and today we're going to talk about gunfire in America. Is it time to arm yourself? We welcome you as we discuss about the possibility of you getting your own carry concealed permit, or whether that's just something that may not be for you, and it might not be for the best. We're going to talk about it, the pros and cons of concealed carry. We're also going to be talking about that crazy crook story, and today we're going to look at a crazy crook with a gun. That's a recipe for disaster. We're also going to be talking about some other stuff that I think you'll find quite interesting in today's program. Thank you for joining us. Now, as we come to this particular episode, we have been impacted with yet again another school shooting. They are called by some mass shootings. This past Friday, a young teenager armed with a Remington 870 shotgun and a .38 pistol went to his school in Santa Fe, Texas. He entered a classroom and started shooting. 10 people, 2 teachers, 8 students were killed, 13 wounded, including a school resource officer that put his own life in the line of fire to save students. We are told that unlike the Parkland school shooting and others, there were few red flags with this student. The point is, mass shootings are incredibly sad, but not a new phenomenon. This wasn't the first one, and this will not be the last one. Now, according to data from the Gun Violence Archive, there have been a total of 100 mass shootings this year alone. The Texas high school shooting marked the 101st one. Of the 101 mass shootings, of 101 mass shootings, 40 of them have been school shootings. Now, the Texas school shooting made 41. And the media reporting of each one, we hear something needs to be done. And we can almost speak verbatim, those noises that we hear so very often from the press and the politicians. We've got to do something. But today's show is about arming yourself, keeping yourself and your family safe. Now, as far as the school goes, many, in fact most of them, are sending more armed people to protect students. In my own county and others in Florida, extensive training is taking place, sending law enforcement, specially trained, along with retired and former law enforcement and our military people. The point is, my friend, we're not just sending unstable, crazy people with guns into our schools. However, we are sending good people with guns to stop bad people from killing others. While there's a lot of controversy around this idea of what we need to do, one thing everybody seems to agree on: more police, more law enforcement, more good men with guns who know what they're doing has to be part of the solution. Now, the training that I've read about is even more extensive than some cops have received in this country. So again, trained, qualified people to protect our students. The question is, what can you do? What can you do to protect you and your family from the violent criminal out there? Now, before we get to that, it's a good time right now for our crazy crook story. We don't want crazy people with guns, but here is a crazy criminal who apparently did not have any gun training at all. It was an Orlando man, only in Florida, right? An Orlando man, well, allegedly he shot himself during a robbery. That's right, shot himself during a robbery. He stole a Mercedes from a strip club and then flagged down a deputy himself. Now, that's according to the Orange County Sheriff's Office here in Central Florida. The incident took place about 2:50 a.m. at 1213 18th Street. Lieutenant Mike Crabb, he said in a statement that LaShawn Williams, 24 years of age, well, LaShawn, he allegedly robbed a person of a phone, but then accidentally shot himself while fleeing that scene. Panicked about the wound, he ran across the street to a gentleman's club, found a Mercedes with the door open, which he allegedly jumped in, and then fled north on Orange Blossom Trail. Now, feeling the effects of the gunshot, he pulled over on Columbia Street, flagged down the sheriff's deputy, and he was taken to the Orlando Regional Medical Center, and he had, luckily, non-life-threatening injuries. Now, he was positively identified as the robber. And we on Charlie Crime Buster, we've identified him as just another crazy crook. Well, friend, criminals often are not trained in carrying weapons. But if you do carry a weapon, you need to be trained. And if you're serious about carrying a weapon, we're going to make it a little easier for you to do so. We have a Charlie Hack Sheet. Yep, a Charlie Hack Sheet, where we've done the research for you. You'll find a state-by-state guide on gun laws nationwide, the best guns to pick, the best carry holsters to pick, even the cost of gun permits state by state. Also, a place where you can check out legal insurance to help you in case you face legal challenges. So if you are a citizen who carries a weapon, you will want this fact sheet. If you are a citizen who's thinking about carrying a weapon, you will want this fact sheet. That and more on this Charlie flash sheet. It'll serve as a resource guide for concealed carry. Now, we're putting out a book this summer on it, but this is a way for you to quickly get information right at your fingertips that can help you in your own quest to protect your family. Just visit our website, charliecrimebuster.com, charliecrimebuster.com. Click on the Contact Us button. Give us your email address, and we'll send it to you. We'll send it to you free of charge. We'll email it free of charge. Now, in a moment, 5 things about concealed carry that you may not know. 5 things about concealed carry that you may not know, even if you carry for yourself. Now, before we get there, fresh off the pages, a new crime story. A story about the long arm of the law. Oops, wait a minute. It wasn't the long arm of the law, but it was an arm. And that arm was of the victim that caught these guys red-handed. Oh, excuse the pun. You'll know more after the story. This is a story by Nicole Dara. Nicole Dara. She writes that police with Grass Valley Department in California, they received a tip regarding a stolen prosthetic arm that was spotted in the alleged burglar's car, and it led to arrest. A cop with the department responded and came across the suspects. They were identified as Nevada County Sheriff's Office. The Nevada County Sheriff's Office identified them as Michael Martin, Emma St. Clair, and Mike Mulligan. The cop searched the car. He found the prosthetic limb, the exact arm that was stolen in a burglary, according to law enforcement Facebook page. Now, Martin, St. Clair, and Mulligan, they were booked in the Wayne Brown Correctional Facility in Nevada City for suspicion of burglary and possession of stolen property. In this case, the long arm of the victim, not the law, the victim, it nabbed them with the help of a citizen, and now the streets are a little safer with crooks with no conscience. I mean, who would do that? Who would take somebody's prosthetic limb? Is there a fence for that kind of stuff? Well, you tell me. I know for one, you have to be low down to do that. And you can't make this stuff up, people. It's just crazy out there. All right, 5 things. 5 things you may not know about concealed carry. Now, you probably already know that the number of concealed carry citizens, that number is growing. But do you really know how much? This is according to Guns to Carry. According to Guns to Carry, from 1999 to 2007, there was an average of 240,000 permits issued. 240,000. But in 2008 to 2011, that average grew to 850,000 per year. And by 2011, the government estimated that there were 8 million back in 2011 concealed carry holders. In 2013, that number increased to 11 million concealed carry holders. Now, in 2016, over 1.7 million permits. 1.7. Remember, started out at 240,000. Now, 1.7 million permits were issued in 2016, growing the concealed carry citizen to at least 16 million. Now, I say at least because there are now 14 states in the United States that do not require a permit. So we have no idea of really knowing, how many there are out there that are carrying. Well, how about by sex? Which sex, male or female, has the most? Well, if you guessed women, you're correct. Twice as many women are applying for gun permits than men. Well, how about race? From 2012 to 2016, the states that provided data by race, over that time period, the number of black people with permits increased 30% faster than the number of whites with permits. And which race? Which race is it that has the most growth with gun permits? Well, it's the Asians. The Asians appear to be the group that's experienced the largest increase in permitted concealed carry. Well, folks, lots of people are carrying, but should you? Should you carry? Should you get a concealed weapon permit if your state requires that? Folks, I got to tell you, I have no political agenda here. I'm just going to tell you the truth about concealed carry. When you have the truth, you are better prepared to make your own decision. Now, when someone will ask me, and they do often in seminars, this sort of thing, if they ask me if they should get a concealed weapon permit, I most always say it depends. That's right. It depends if you're willing to make the commitment to carry smart, S-M-A-R-T. Smart carriers realize that there is a price that you pay in order to carry. There's a commitment that you make. Right off the bat, it's going to cost you money. You see, unless your great-great-great-grandfather was in the Civil War and handed down his weapon from generation to generation, you will probably have to go and purchase a firearm. But be forewarned, it's just not like going down to the 7-Eleven and purchasing a big gulp. You see, according to Gunshots, in 5 states, you can expect to pay anywhere from $5 to $100. Now get this, that just to be eligible to purchase or possess a gun. You see, some states have enough red tape to go through that you can lose yourself in the hoops to jump through. And in some states, that includes shotguns and rifles. Now, according to John's article, at least 17 states will have hoops and fees to pony up just to purchase the gun legally. Some states will require you to register the weapon or the sale thereof. Hey, been thinking about going to the land of the grass skirts? Maybe to watch a filming of 5-0 Hawaiian style? Well, don't forget to register your gun with the local law enforcement, because in Hawaii you have only 5 days to do so. Only 5 days. You better register your weapon, or the next Bookham Daniel may be coming for you. It is illegal not to register your weapon on the island. Be careful. Such laws will vary from state to state. Make sure you know your own state's laws regarding registering a firearm. And remember, we have a state-by-state guide to help you at Charlie Crimebuster. Now, next, you're going to shell out some bucks for your gun carrying permit. That's right, your gun carrying permit. And also, be ready, be prepared to figure out that there are some states that are not so carry-friendly, and they have the may-issue states, and they have a lot more stuff you have to go through than the shall-issue states. That's why you need that state-by-state guide we were telling you about. Now, add to this fact that you may need to pay for training, followed by the cost of the weapon, the holster, cost of eye protection, the fast loaders, the cool concealed clothes that you're want to wear. Well, by that time you're running up quite a tab, and at this point you don't even have someone to dance for it. Well, this cost will vary from state to state, from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, but there is a cost. Now, another con for carrying a weapon is the time required. Someone has said that there are 3 words to describe our lives today. It's hurry, worry, and bury. We go everywhere in a hurry. We worry about everything, and because we go everywhere in a hurry and we worry about everything, we bury our friends much, much too soon, much early. You see, a responsible gun owner will take time to get proper training and to keep up that training throughout their lives. And if you hardly have enough time to get things done now, will you? Will you have enough time to train yourself to be safe and responsible? You see, training is very important, because if you find yourself in a life and death situation, you will revert back to your training to help you survive. If you have no training, well, by that time it'll be way too late. But you say, well, I did just the amount of training that was required by my state to get the permit. Well, you may be right about that. Maybe you did just the amount of training that was required to get your permit. You may be right, but my friend, you also may be dead right. Can you imagine this? Hey, Mr. Bad Guy, hold up there, will you? I got to remember where the safety is on my gun before we do the tombstone drawdown. You think? Of course not. You see, if you skip this part where you're not willing to do the training and to keep up that training, in my opinion, you are not a responsible concealed carry member of Carrying Americans. To carry a weapon, you will not only have to give up money and time, but some out there will have to replace fear with courage. You see, I am convinced that there are some people who do not have the mental fortitude to carry a weapon. If you're fearful of guns, you probably do not have the proper respect for guns. You see, I'm fortunate. I was raised in a place and time when guns were a part of everyday life in a healthy way. Yeah, well, while I'm not a Davy Crockett from Tennessee and did not kill a bear when I was only 3, well, I was a little boy in Tennessee, at home in the woods, with respect for a weapon that I was taught to shoot. You see, along with respect for the weapon came a respect for human life and a serious commitment to practice safety at all times with the weapon. You see, this commitment to responsibility is a mindset that you must have to keep you and others safe. Now, I'm not here to throw cold water on your passion to practice your Second Amendment. However, I must be open when I tell you, if you have to use your weapon to defend yourself or others, you might also lose your freedom. You see, friend, what makes you think if there are police officers out there with all the training and authority in the world on trial today for using their weapons, what makes you think it could not happen to you? Innocent people go on trial. Innocent people go to jail. You may even follow your training and find yourself facing charges. Hey, remember that first con? It would cost you money? Well, if you find yourself on trial for your life, it's going to cost you big bucks. But wait a minute. Hold on. Put the car keys down. Don't run down and sell your weapon somewhere. Don't get away from the computer. Go away from the computer. Get away from Craigslist. You don't have to sell it right now and get out of the idea. You don't have to sell your weapon and get out of the gun-toting, carrying mode, because just as there are cons, there are pros, and even legal plans to help you with the legal quagmire you might find yourself in should you discharge your weapon in a shooting incident. Do not do anything until you hear about the pros as well as the cons. Knowing the cons, there are still millions of us that practice the Second Amendment right every day. Now, if you need help in navigating this area, check out our resource guide. Let me send it to you free of charge. Just contact us at charliecrimebuster.com. charliecrimebuster.com. You'll find out what you need to know about your state laws, even permit costs state by state. We'll point you to the best places to get the best information. You know, we've also added a resource guide on the link so you can find out what to do if you're pulled over by the police and you have a weapon in the vehicle. All that and more on our resource guide. Just email us today, contact us, get on the contact tab on our website, give us your email address, request it, and we'll send it to you right away. Well, there's some pros. One of the first pros that comes to mind if you are a concealed carry weapon citizen is the fact that you can have peace of mind. You see, I teach constantly about preventing crime and keeping people safe. When we are faced with all this violence, it can lend yourself to producing a fearful spirit about yourself. And while there are certain dangers to avoid, there is a way you can prepare yourself to be safe as a citizen that carries a weapon. One of the strongest ways that we have peace of mind for our own safety and the safety of others is to become a responsible concealed weapon carrier. There are those who will try to taint good responsible citizens as paranoid people who would shoot someone at the drop of a hat. Well, at the close of today's broadcast, I will absolutely prove, now listen to this, I will absolutely prove to you that that is such a lie. I will prove to you how the vast majority of concealed carriers are safe, and I'm going to give you the number to prove it. The truth of the matter is, most concealed carry people are very responsible, cool-headed people who would only use their weapon when their life or others were in grave danger. You see, having those type of people around you, they will keep you safer. And by being that type of person, you can have peace of mind. Well, there's also protection of life. You see, most of the concealed carry citizens I know, they've taken on the responsibility for one main reason. That reason, to protect their loved ones. I can't imagine being in a situation when someone is harming my loved ones while I can do absolutely nothing. You say, well, that's the job of cops. I say, friend, get real, get real. As a cop on the street, most of the time I arrive to a crime situation, well, someone had already been assaulted. They had already been raped. They already were killed. The crime is over in seconds and minutes. Sometimes the average police response in most areas can be 20 minutes, sometimes longer. You see, if you're serious about protecting your family, you may want to become a responsible concealed carry citizen. So you have protection of life, you have peace of mind, but you also have a practice awareness. And this is a plus in your life. It really, really is. Regardless if you are carrying a concealed weapon or not, if you want to be safe, listen to this. This is the best advice you'll ever hear anybody give you. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of your surroundings. This is the best safety advice. The fact that you are carrying a weapon, well, my friend, it will make you more aware of your surroundings. You see, there's just something about knowing the responsibility of carrying that enables you to develop an awareness of your surroundings. You even begin to think about it with your subconscious mind. That's right. You find yourself thinking such things as, what if? What if we were faced someone coming toward us with a knife? You start looking for suspicious people. You're thinking, how would you protect yourself and your loved one in the safest way possible? You ask anybody that's serious about carrying a concealed weapon, and they will tell you they are far more aware of their surroundings now as a concealed weapon carrier than even before. There's also something called power in numbers. You see, when you watch the news, you go online or you even read it in print, you sometimes think that the whole world has gone mad. Every day you become aware of drive-by shootings, domestic fights, road rage, or something as simple as being in the right place at the wrong time. You sometimes feel overwhelmed with the world around you. You may be unaware that there is a growing army of concerned citizens who are becoming responsible concealed weapon carriers. There are also many law enforcement leaders who are encouraging good citizens to arm themselves. More than one law enforcement has been quoted as saying, the often quote, the only way to stop a bad man with a gun is with a good man with a gun. You've heard it. It's simple. The more people who are responsible with guns, the better we're able to face the bad guys who are irresponsible and kill others. So to conclude this idea of whether you should arm yourself or not, to conclude that, it's your decision. You must make the choice. The important truth is you are to become a concealed weapon carrier. If you are to become a concealed weapon carrier, then please make the commitment to take it seriously. Become a responsible member of the army of good. Now, there are over 9 million citizens legally carrying weapons today. Actually, as I told you, it's 16 now. 16 million, I misspoke. At least. No doubt, having read, heard, or seen The World of Carry, you probably asked yourself this question: should I carry a weapon or not? Susan Gonzalez, she asked that question and she answered it. She said, no, I'm not going to carry a weapon. It's too dangerous. I don't want a gun. Then she changed her mind. You see, a few years ago, Susan Gonzalez was against people carrying guns. She was in the anti-carry crowd and was certain that people carrying weapons other than law enforcement was just a bad idea. Then on the early morning of August 18th, something happened that changed her mind. That morning, just after 12:40 a.m., Susan heard a noise, got up from the couch to go open the door for what she thought was her son returning from a late night out. Instead, someone kicked the door so hard that it came off the hinges. Two masked men invaded her home. Seconds later, as she ran from the door, she was shot. Susan's husband, Mike, who was asleep in the bedroom, heard the commotion, ran to confront the attackers. Mike wrestled with the attackers, but was no match for the men and their weapons. He, too, was shot. At this moment, Susan, who was against guns, reacted from the desire to survive. She found her husband's pistol. She was anti-gun then, and she pointed that weapon, and she pulled the trigger, and she shot one of the attackers. Both masked men fled out of the door, and the one she shot fell in the front yard, died from a gunshot wound. The other escaped, only to be captured a short time later by the police. From that moment, Susan was convinced guns can save lives. Now Susan says a lot of people are against guns because they say guns kill. And Gonzalez now says, guns saved my life, and I was against guns. I now carry. She goes on to say, I can only hope that another woman, or even man, will take a look and realize there's a reason to have guns for safety. She said anyone that is a victim never expects to be a victim. You should be prepared. Well, if you are serious about carrying, you'll want our Charlie Hack Sheet resource guide. Some of the material today came from our book called Smart Carry that's going to be released this summer. However, so that you don't have to wait for that, we prepared a simple resource guide where you can find out all about the state laws that you have in your state regarding concealed carry. We also have information on the best guns to buy, the best holsters, and even where you can find 4 legal plans to consider to protect you in case you've discharged or banished your weapon and have legal problems. Go to charliecrimebuster.com, charliecrimebuster.com, click on the Contact Us tab, and simply request the guide and let us know where to email it to you. Now, if you do not feel that you want to carry a weapon, there are lots of other resources out there to keep you safe, including a guide with the best safety apps of 2018. Then consider us as one of those resources. We are putting those new resources on our website every single week, including how to turn your cell phone into a tool that'll keep you safe. You can find that on the resource tab at charliecrimebuster.com. Now, in wrapping it up, 3 things about concealed carry that everybody should know. Number 1, while there are those out there who should not be carrying, including criminals with no intention of obeying the laws, the far majority, now get this, the far majority of concealed weapon holders are responsible, and they take their training and their responsibility serious. Listen to this. I told you I'd prove it. I'm going to prove it right now. Concealed handbook permit holders are extremely law-abiding. You see, in Florida and in Texas, permit holders are convicted of misdemeanors and felonies, yet get this, at 1/6 the rate at which police officers are convicted. Did you hear that? The people who are permit holders in these 2 states, they are convicted of misdemeanors and felonies at 1/6 the rate at which police officers are convicted. Did you hear that? Don't judge people who carry weapons unfairly. They're safe people, by far the majority. Number 2, even if you do not think that concealed carry is for you, don't forget you are responsible for your own safety and the safety of your family. Did you hear that? You are responsible for your own safety and the safety of your family. Police cannot be everywhere at once, and often they are called after the fact most of the time. So let me ask you, what are you doing right now to keep your family safe? What are you doing? Do you have a plan? Do you know what to do in certain situations? And that brings me to the third suggestion. Learn safe practices. That's right. Use legal tools to help you stay safe. Even if it's not lethal force, there are some tools out there that can help you. Go to our resource tab and see how your cell phone can have access to the top safety apps for you and your family at charliecrimebuster.com. We hope to be one of those resources for you. Hey, and don't forget to ask for your resource guide to concealed carry. Even if you already carry, you can find a quick read and lots of good information for you. This is Charlie Crimebuster, and we have tackled that decision, tackled that choice. Should you carry a weapon or not? America is under gunfire. That's true every day on our streets. America is under gunfire. What can you do to protect yourself? Should you arm yourself? Only you can answer that question. Till this time next time, let me thank you for joining us for the ride today. And until this time next time, as we often say, hey, stay safe. The life you save may be your very, very own.